Augusta here from the New Face of Finance. In previous videos, I've mentioned that we have some awful neighbours, and I'm dedicating this video to explaining why they're so bad. You don't want to come across, sometimes you get these guys who are like, oh, my girlfriend's crazy, she's crazy. And then when you really break it down, it turns out that, he's the psychotic mess that is getting her to act crazy. So I just don't want to say, oh, the neighbours are bad without at least putting it on record as to why we would list them as bad neighbours. So let's start off by talking about who these people actually are or what we know about them. We know that they are a couple, that they are originally from Germany. They live a couple of doors down from the property that we are currently in. So we own this house, we own the one next door, and the house after that is the house that they live in. We know that they travel for extended periods of time, so they might go away for a month. They've got a caravan or a camper van, one of these vans you can sleep in, and they'll take that, and sometimes you won't see them for like a month, 5 weeks at a time before they reappear and start causing trouble again. Have no idea if they're married or just cohabiting. I heard from one of the neighbours when we were trying to figure out why she was so grumpy that apparently they tried for a family and it didn't materialise and she feels really crap about it. Don't know if that's true. If it is genuinely true, that's awful. I know what it's like to want a family or want a child and struggle, but it does make me wonder if, maybe the heavens are trying to tell you something. With that attitude and demeanour, maybe you would have been a bit of a dodgy parent and that child might have had a difficult time. Also, I think they're kind of like my mum's age, so maybe you just left it a bit late. I don't know. I don't even know if that's got anything to do with why they're the way that they are. Also, when we moved here, it appeared that they'd all been such good friends for so long. They were acting like they'd been living here for years, and we'd come and we'd disrupted their way of living. And then I looked into it. I looked at the records of when the house was last sold, and the house was last purchased in 2017, which suggests to me that they literally turned up the year before we did. They probably felt incredibly special because when we first turned up on this road, it was disgusting. People thought they were living in a ghetto out here, and maybe they just felt like they were royalty on this street, starting on the hood, as they call it. And maybe we came along and, being young, black, entrepreneurial, renovated the hell out of our properties, it just rubbed them up the wrong way because they felt they lost that status. I'm just speculating because a lot of this behaviour has not made sense. So why are they bad? What sorts of things have they done for us to get to this conclusion? Well, let's talk about this chronologically. I'll provide some kind of timeline as I talk. I think it first started with the party wall disagreement. When we purchased and started renovating these properties, I did want to get the party wall sorted. I'll be honest, I was quite naive. I didn't really know the importance of having a party wall agreement in place prior to building. My brother was on a project at the time. We hired another builder to support him. So my brother's supposed to be project managing. This builder's supposed to be like the lead builder, and it's supposed to have this kind of like, good communicating relationship that was supposed to ensure that we got the project done quickly and to a good budget. This didn't end up happening. But in any case, the builder turned up and I was like, look, I think we've got to get a party wall agreement in place. And he was like, no, you don't. We can just start. And then we started building. These people were away initially when we started building. And when they came back a month into the build, they basically said, no, stop this build. Where's the party wall agreement? They got really peeved off. We had to stop everything, put that in place. That was about 2 months of not doing anything. Interest being charged on the borrowing at the time was probably about 7,000 a month. So it was a very expensive hold. And with hindsight, like I'll never let anything like that happen again. But you live and you learn. But anyway, that's where it started. It started with this party war disagreement. They were angry that we started the build without letting them know, which is fair enough. Okay. I don't think that my brother helped the situation as well, because he had a bit of a temper on him. And there was an instance I heard where he was trying to communicate with them. They were being massively difficult. He stuck his foot in the door. It all got a bit crazy. So it started off bad. It started off bad. However, when Nick and I took over the project management of the build, after it was just dragging on and going nowhere, we stepped in, we hired a new set of builders. I actually approached them. I went to this lady and her husband or fella or whatever, but I went to her and I said, look, I'm sorry for what came before. We should have communicated a bit better. However, I'd like a blank slate. Let's start again. At the end of the day, we're not doing anything bad here. By renovating these houses, we're adding value to the street. And so this, and in turn, that's going to add value to your house. So, you know, let's just be cool. And she basically said no. Like, no. She said to me, yeah, people have told me about this potential of my house increasing in value. But yeah, no, I don't want to be cool with you. No word of a lie. So I stepped away. I said, okay, cool. Look, I'm not out here trying to make friends anyway. We don't have to be cool. But I just thought she'll fall back. She'll just stay out of our way. Little did I know. So we carry on with the build. And then I get an email from our short-term lender at the time, who was basically just like, this neighbour has complained to us. And I read the complaint and it was just a whole load of nothing. It was basically, did you know that these people are renovating the house? And it's like, well, if you knew anything about finance, you'd know that we'd raised short-term finance for the specific reason that we were renovating the house. So I could see that she was trying to get us into trouble. But my lender was just a bit like, look, I'm not really worried about this, but you should know, and, you know, just be careful, because these people clearly have a bit of a vendetta for you guys. And that was like the first instance where I was like, wow, like these people are on some next level of war out here. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not petty. And I just wanted to crack on with getting this project done. Every month that went, it was super expensive. Wanting to just like finish the houses and refinance out. That was just my goal. So I noted this, but we just carried on. You're probably thinking, but how did she know who your builders were? And actually, it's quite easy to find this information out. All you've got to do is go into a land registry, and if a lender if you've raised money against a property, the lender will usually be listed, because they'll have a charge, some kind of security against the asset. So it's not that hard to find out who a lender is. As well as that, she would find opportunities to come and harass the builders, make them feel unwelcome, just try and cause little bits of like pointless mayhem. We'd be doing work on a Saturday. She'd be shouting out our window, no, you can't work on a Saturday. Sometimes a Sunday would be the only day. We just want to get tiny bits of work done. You know, it wasn't noisy. It wasn't disturbing. It was like a reasonable time, say between 12 and 3. She'd be like, no, you can't work on a Sunday. But then you would literally have, I remember there was a building team across the road from where we are, and there was 12 men out one Sunday, like between 8 and 8 on a Sunday. No one said anything to them, but she was just complaining, no, you can't work on a Sunday, go away. Constantly looking for ag. She went to the police several times. She'd go to the police and accuse us of taking pictures of her, or for making videos of her. There was a really interesting time actually once, and this would have been like late, I can't remember, 2018, 2019, can't remember exactly when, but Nick and I were heading into London because there was an event being held by one of my lenders as a broker. It was a broker, I was attending as a broker, and where we parked the car, because, you know, we own these spaces and there's a drop curve, and people love to try and park in the house and not parking in the house, parking outside that drop curb, and it's not allowed. It belongs to us. There was even a keep clear sign when we purchased the property. So we blocked that place out. If we moved the car, we blocked the place out. And these people would get so angry with the fact that we blocked the place out, even though we own 3 houses. These people would be out in the HMO in 1 room and be getting angry about the fact that we would block out our drop curve. Anyway, so we're standing there about to move the car, and this woman's standing there recording us. And so we sat in the car, and I don't even know why. I'm thinking about it right now while we sat in the car. But we sat in the car just waiting for her and her nonsense. Eventually, they cycled off with their ugly little dog. And then, just as we're about to move the car, she comes back round the other way. She's across the road. She's filming us. So I go and I confront her. I walk up to her and I'm like, why are you filming us? Why are you filming us? What is this? And she was like, go away. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to talk to you. But why are you across the road filming me? And she was like, oh, I don't want to talk. You're harassing me. You're harassing me. I'm like, you're harassing me. I said, are you not racist or something? She's like, you're the one that's racist. You're racist against our German accent. Look, I'm not even going to lie. It was nonsense. But they were there filming us across the road. And I don't know why. Anyway, as I'm standing there trying to talk to this woman, the husband all tries to get up in my face. I pull up my phone to try and record him. He tries to grab the phone out my hand. Nick is ready at this point to box this guy's head in, but that's what he wants. You know, big black guy, punch me in the head, come get him arrested, come put him in prison. That's really what they're after, let's face it. So Nick kind of just, you know, pulls me away. We get in the car, we head to London. I call the police. I explain what happened. They were like, was there skin to skin contact? I was like, yeah. This guy touched my hand as he was trying to get the phone out. They were like, well, that's assault. The thing with Thanet Police, though, or Kent Police, is when you call and you report a crime like this, they'll be like, yeah, we're going to come out and investigate it. But then they don't. To this day, I don't have a crime reference number for that report. I remember making a call. I recorded who I spoke to, but they didn't give me a crime reference number, and no one came out to investigate that. Yet this woman will be calling the police, and there was a period where every couple of weeks the police was coming and knocking on our door. So the police would come round and would be accused of all sorts of things. They'd be like, oh, the neighbour said you're recording them. I said, okay. Or they'll be like, the neighbour said that some big black guy came and blocked their doorway. Or the police would be like, oh, the car that's parked has got no insurance on it. Or just after Gigi was born, Gigi must have been like 2 days old, and they came and knocked on our door and they were like, the neighbour said you're playing your music real loud. No joke of a lie. All of this stuff was lies. But even still, you walk up this road and there are a good few number of cars that don't have insurance on their cars. But the police ain't doing nothing about them. Nick and I come back from a walk the other day, and there were like these 3, 4 white boys on the corner blaring music. And it wasn't just any music, like everything urban, Afro beats, grime, blaring it. As Nick and I was walking up, there was a lady drove past in a police van. We stopped to see what was going to happen. She drove up went to where these boys were and then carried on driving. So they can stand in the road being a massive public nuisance, blaring out music they can hear up the road, but they'll come knock on the door when a baby was born 2-3 days ago and start accusing us of blaring music. Some racial profiling out here. When we started getting guests in the property, we noticed that they would be hanging over the fence, the shared fence between the other house we own where the guests would be staying and their house. And I don't know what they're saying, but they're clearly talking crap, because these guests would come in, be acting one way, before you know it, they're acting a different kind of way in our houses, trying to disrespect us. So we found that we needed to find a solution. And the solutions, we came up with 2 solutions. The first one is we had a sign on the door which basically said, look, these people hate us. We don't know why. We recommend you don't speak to them. But if you do, just bear in mind that there's beef. It's not cool. And the second thing we did was put CCTV in the camera. Now, CCTV in that garden. Now, CCTV had already surrounded most of the property, and we could see pretty much every property angle. That was the blind spot. That was where we couldn't see. So we put CCTV camera there, and they got mad. Called the police about that. We had police come visit us, ask us to see what the CCTV camera looked like. Not just that, they went to the Information Commissioner's office. These are the people that deal with data protection, made a complaint there. So the ICO came along like, oh, your website, you need to improve it. You don't have a privacy policy. We're also, there's a complaint being made about CCTV. I fixed up the privacy policy. I improved the website. And then once they released the complaint to me, again, sure as hell, it came from number 6. And I explained to them that we have gone to the police with these guys about harassment and this is not a genuine complaint. And they were pretty much like, oh, okay, well, look, we don't want to get into it, but pretty much that complaint fell apart. So the thing is, obviously, they keep just trying to shut us down and keep just trying to get us into trouble, but it doesn't really seem to work out for them. Somehow, we seem to just keep getting better and stronger as a result of all the crap they do. Another example of this is the other day, Nick was like looking out and there were these 3 people who were just constantly standing there looking like some kind of federal authority. And he opened the door and was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're the fire department. We heard you're running illegal HMO. Nick was really angry. Obviously, we're having these authorities here all the time. We've had the council come round, make complaints. So, look, I wanted to calm the situation in. I brought this fire department into the house, showed them that it's recently renovated. In fact, it's probably some of the highest standards in Thanet. We're not running an illegal HMO. Constantly explaining ourselves, and we just want quiet enjoyment. Can't have quiet enjoyment. At the end of the day, they want us to move, or they want to get Nick arrested, but they're just bad mind. They just want bad things for us, and there's no real explanation as to why. Okay, yeah, we started off not so great on this party wall thing, but it did get sorted out in the end. We paid for your surveyor, we paid for our surveyor, the houses were done, your house never got affected, we've already come trying to apologise. They're just not having it. They just don't want us around. They don't want to see us. They called the council about us apparently fly tipping, leaving rubbish around. Like, I am so anti-littering to the point that I will put all our recyclable rubbish into bags, and then when we go up to Fulham, I leave the recycling there because I know that Fulham has an advanced recycling system that Thanet doesn't have. We're so on, like, keeping the environment good. So how can we be the ones fly tipping? It's always nonsense. It's always some kind of mad projection. They'll be doing this crazy stuff and then putting it on us. And then the authorities will be coming here trying to do abuse because they can't really understand how a few young black people have come up with these assets and what we're doing out here. Half of them probably thinking that we're selling drugs to be here. Not knowing it's a new age, not knowing that, you know, these days, people from all sorts of backgrounds can do property. So look, what has been the impact and what is the resolution to this? You know, like I say, the thing with the impact of this has been, despite the fact they keep trying to shut us down, we're actually stronger than we've ever been. You know, the police don't come around anymore because when they tried it with this insurance thing, we got a lawyer involved. And we paid the lawyer to investigate, sort out the matter. And essentially, basically said to them, you got any other issues, you'd obviously come through our lawyer, and they dropped it. And they haven't really tried it again since then. Again, with this fire department, they came around, saw the property, gave a couple of recommendations. We applied the recommendations, we're more compliant than we were before. Same thing with our website. When they tried to go to the ICO, our website is better now as a result. So we keep taking these negatives and turning them to a positive, but these people are mad bad mind, and I'm just like, we got so many things to do. We've got 3 businesses between us, trying to set up a 4th. We have a little girl, we're trying to expand our family. We've got long-term goals, you know. We've got big things going on. Like, now we're about to start another development. Like, I don't have the time to be doing this petty madness and looking for things on them and trying to get them into trouble. I just don't physically have the time to be doing it. So I'm never going to do what they're doing to us to them. It's just not going to happen. But I think they're getting really fed up and they're seeing that this is going nowhere, and noticed that the house was up for sale. And I looked at it last night and actually seems like it's been sold subject to contract, which is amazing, which means that these people might be leaving really soon. And I'm just so excited. I mean, I don't want to get crazy just in case, but like, hopefully this will be the end of it. And then, you know, whoever buys it will be some cool people from London who just want to be cool with us, who just want to like come and chill and say, hey, how'd you do this? Respect what you guys are doing. Look, this is where we can add value. This is where we can collaborate. That's the dream. That's the hope, you know, because this place is slowly gentrifying. And as I say, it is nice to be a black gentrifier. It is nice to turn up and actually be the people that improve the area, as opposed to be the people who they're trying to get out of the area, you know. I'm really blessed to be in that position. So fingers crossed that the house is going to be sold soon. At the end of the day, all we want is quiet enjoyment. All we want is to just, you know, get on with our lives, have a nice value of life. What I will say is, if they have sold the property, they've done pretty well. They've made like 100 grand in like 3 years, 4 years, which is amazing. And I'm pretty sure that some of that value add is to do with what we've done, with how we've renovated 3 of the houses on this street. Because since we came along, since we've done these renovations, this street is not how it was when we first came for the viewing. Like, people have been trying to fix their roofs and changing their windows and painting their houses. People have been stepping up because of these houses. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of that value add that they've got is because of us. But I don't need thanks. I don't need thanks. Just leave, you know? Anyway, I know that's quite a long video, but I think it was really important to just talk about this experience, because there's probably other people who are going through this kind of thing. But, you know, we've been through it, we lived through it. Hopefully that'll be the end. There's always challenges. There's challenges in everything. But it's always a nightmare when there's people who are just gunning for you and you don't know why. In any case, it's been cathartic to let this all out. Thank you for watching. Looking forward to reading the comments that you've got about this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.